the buys, or you will be able to see very shortly, the buys coming in. We've actually got quite a bit of utility coming out for Team Dignitas, with Tensky going for nades, same thing for Rubino. MSL's gone for that Tech 9. It'll be 4 Kevlars over on SK Gaming and just the kit and smoke here on Asilian.
So stuff right now. With Rubino seeming to be the one to kick it off. As he creeps up towards Olaf, will actually be a boost, get him, and just go boy. Up on the angle, spots out Rubino tapping away, but he can't quite follow it up just yet. Does land the tag, but unfortunately for him, Config's actually already done one better, gets that frag towards Modi. Asilian really has to be the critical player as well. Trapped on the bomb site as everyone just barrages their way down. He panics and couldn't really land it. Unfortunately, everyone's getting ripped to shreds as well. It's just Pimp and Freeze now. 2 men, completely outnumbered. They really can't achieve too much. Pimp trying to recover. Not really going to work out too well. Kirby takes him down, and in comes Config as well for the final blow.
Yeah, I believe Config also got the first blow. They sent 3 to drop on that pretty quick take on the B. They find the first kill there, and then at that point, your sight is very hard to control when you've got people jumping off the platform as well as coming out of a drop, and it's Dignitas to hit the shots and come away with that quick first round.
Yeah, the buys coming in there as well. 3 SMGs, 2 of those being MPs. Over on the side of MSL and Rubino, so they can build up a little bit more cash into this one. Interestingly, what SK are actually going to go for with a stack play.
Yeah, well, we've actually just got Pimp with the Deagle here in mid-room, or water room as it was once called. No more water here. And he'll take a couple shots and back off. But the stack is definitely over at B, and more so in drop room, right? Only Magic's boy is really on the site, and Freeze has actually been pulled off as a rotator back to A.
Luckily as well that Freeze has actually arrived on the scene, as it seems like there will be an awful lot of damage dealt towards that A bomb site momentarily. Just creeping up. In the meantime, Rubino going to be playing that lurk role, and it's going to be very interesting if he's going to be able to do his job well. The smoke goes down to zone out the CTs. Modi just playing that anti-fast position, so that shouldn't actually blind him, and could get an opening kill for the CT side, but it's not going to work out too well. Now Pimp, as you mentioned earlier, Deagle in hand, playing this close angle is quite effective if they're not ready for it. And it seems like they are switched on.
Utility coming out, and they're going to storm up the CT slow. Pimp is so blind, but okay, I was going to say he's gone unchecked. Finally, MSO will shoot him in the back. They find him hunkered down in the corner. Rubino going to scope through that vent. You can actually shoot through it without breaking it if you're careful, and it's Dignitas that just storm onto the site, both sides of the van, and everyone on SK is dead.
Yeah, great stuff coming out there as they just storm their way up and take what they want with absolute ease.
Yeah, so even with the rotation coming over, there wasn't much SK could do. Like, they had no money into that round. It was basically just some vanilla pistols. A couple people had P250s, 5.7s, and some armor, but really no chance as Dignitas just storm onto the site.
It's the round. They are going to go for a very aggressive side push as well. Freeze is going to lead the charge. They might just try and hold it, play the crossfire, and see if they can bait each other in. MSL will be the one on the receiving end, but luckily for him, an amazing opening frag. And just go boy trying to connect one as well. We'll shut down MSL, but it's only going to be 1 frag for him. And they're just getting torn to shreds by these SMGs. No way to deal with it at all. Pimp only interested in the position, trying to slide out, but really didn't go his way.
All right, so Rubino getting 2 kills on that round, and actually in the previous round he did, we saw him using his utility, sectioning off that drop room and then throwing the flash. There's literally only one place someone could be standing at that point, so he clears it out. And Rubino is always that solo player, well, assuming his teammates are working over at A. He'll be the solo player on long B plat or the flank lurker at drop. And he's off to a good start with 4 kills. But finally, we get to see that first rifle. Rubino will keep that UMP up. We've seen him do that quite a few times. Modi down there on the FAMAS, so it's not great, but best round yet for SK Gaming, and Modi will start off with the first kill. Yeah, fantastic stuff there. Going for that counter-beast play, aware of Rubino's positioning in the previous rounds, and they immediately get him out of the scenario. Everyone else begins to flood their way through mid-zone, not by the smoke, so they are funneled right into where the CTs want them, and it's going to be Pimp they have to deal with. A nice angle as well. If he plays his cards right, could do an awful lot of damage to the side of Team Dignitas. So we do have 2 over in A. Asilian, it looks like he'll be the quicker rotator, kind of in charge of connector and watching that window. MSL tries to get something done on the long B plant, but there's Freeze, and that's a good sign, right? Freeze hitting that op shot, something he was not doing in that first match they played here at this tournament against Tempo Storm. That's very true indeed. If he can keep up that and try and get his form back, it'll be absolutely fantastic. It's just what they need into this round. And it's looking good so far. Only 3 men left standing over on the Dignitas side as they begin to make their push onto the site, unaware of Pimp's positioning, and he could be such a key catalyst into the round. Tensky will come in with a frag on towards Modi though. Tries to bring it back into a little bit more of a manageable situation, but they don't want that to happen. Asilian rattles him down. Miss Boy comes in with a frag as well, and finally the follow-up frag for Asilian. SK are going to take that first full buy. So there it goes. You know, Modi gets that first kill early on to the round with the FAMAS, gets traded out. Freeze hits his op shot. They've got man advantage, and Dignitas try to work it onto the A site, but SK standing tall and landing all those shots. And there were some really good nades as well to the wooden fence, panels, wood, whatever you want to call it, that really slowed down config. And then I believe it might have been Magic's Boy that had that angle locked down.
Yeah, it was nice use of the utility there to actually play that correctly. So really good stuff coming out so far from SK, and it's what they need to get behind them, as you were saying. If they can get that confidence there, it would really help them out later on into the game. Pimp playing this close angle. Could go for a cheeky pick if he wants to, but we'll just be waiting for them to come to him. Flashbang goes in to buy him a little bit more time as he backs off.
Yeah, it's good to see Pimp back off, right? Remember that one time he was up there by himself with no support. The first map they played, he gets knifed in the back. So I think he's realized that the communication was there. Monty's like, I don't have you covered from danger, so you got to get out, and he'll play onto the CT slope right now, which he's actually done most of the rounds thus far.
Yeah, it's been a good position for him as well. They haven't actually checked the angle when they said that one player through mid, so it's been giving him a chance. Can go back to it for the meantime before they're actually aware of what he's been up to.
All right, well, the flash in. MSL is so blind, he thinks someone's peeking, so he just starts firing his gun. That'll give things away. Freeze will win the battle one-on-one against Rubino over at the Long Beach platform, so man advantage now for SK Gaming.
The two begin to find their way out through mid, but Pimp doing a great job. Only one frag, unfortunately, before he gets traded out. Modi on the site as well. Got so many men to deal with. A trio. Dignitas members pushing their way up. It'll only take one to actually find the frag. Here comes Sicilian. He did a great job in the previous round, but he can't do it this time. Gets taken down. It's just left on Freeze and Magic's Boy, and they're getting pushed. Unfortunately, trapped in Hobbit. Gets bested. It's just on Freeze now. Orb in hand. Claims the first one. Switches out to the USP Tensky. So very low. He'll get the flick. Takes him down as he walks out through the door.
Well, Freeze dominant that round. He gets that one kill again, winning the 1v1 with Rubino, and on his rotation over, cleaning it up. And it looks like the communication was there, that last guy was pretty low. So Freeze is able to take him down. That's 4 kills for him, finding 3 of them on that round. So he's getting things going. And Dignitas, look at the buy. You can see the money is pretty low. CZ's coming out, and actually 2 CZs on the T side. That's kind of interesting. But everyone will have their utility, so it's a nice balance here for Dignitas.
Yeah, and Freeze, as you were saying, he's been absolutely fantastic actually getting those early round openers that have given him advantage into the late round. Twice in a row now he's been getting the first pick, and it seems like it will actually be all-out aggression towards that deep bomb site, trying to play off the back of the weaker buy. A lot of utility as well, though, so they can still zone out the CTs, try and divide the site into 2 to give them those openers. Let's use the Molotovs over towards Chicken Coop as well. And here they come. They begin to trickle down into the site. Freeze, still living up to his name from previously. Wants to roll back the years, gets that opening frag, and MSL will finally follow suit with the rest of his teammates. What an absolute domination there from SK on that defense.
I was trying to figure out exactly where Magic's Boy was. I'm going to guess he was on back a rectangular near the rock, because he wasn't one of the guys on site. And then, of course, Freeze starting things off right. It hits that quick op shot, is able to fall back. He'll stay alive. Dignitas, in the last round, they got to go for a delay explode into A. Didn't quite work out, so then they take it over to B and do a set execute there, and that doesn't work out. So now they're like maybe left scratching their heads here. See if they can't figure something out. It's 3 rounds in a row for SK Gaming after that first rifle. Yeah,
and it was good stuff from them as well. It wasn't like the play was actually off. Communication looked well, it looked very drilled, and the actual structure of the B take, but it just didn't quite follow through on the last hurdle. Config tiptoed his way up Matrix right now, has the backup of his teammates slowly arriving to try and give him some aid as they're aware there could be a lone ranger on that CT side. It's been Pimp multiple times now attempting to defend it, but they've actually just planted the seed of doubt and opted to back off.
Pimp's just been sitting at so many like one and done angles over there on A, and it's Freeze again to start off with the first. That's a first kill of the round, 3 rounds in a row right now for Freeze.
Look at this. So much map control has actually been handed to Dignitas, but it's not even going to matter. They can't really do much. The Deagle spam coming out, but they couldn't land it. And Modi will be able to claim 3 frags into that one. SK looking absolutely on the ball right now.
Yeah, so Dignitas, they seem to really like the Deagle sometimes. When they go on those ecos, call them the decos, pull up the term from source. Yeah. But nothing really worked out there. They had no utility, so they just kind of started going 1 by 1 over into A, and that just really hinges on hitting those 1 digs, and they found pretty much none of them. Modi cleaned them up.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And they've been anchor roll and just really locking down the bomb site. One is lonesome. Yeah, that could be some more aggression early on towards that deep bomb site. Drop down's been a bit of a touchy area, but being able to actually find his way down, but not really get much out of it.
SK right now are really heavy over at A, and it's Modi to get that first kill, I think. How did he actually find? Okay, he was up at the top of slope. He killed them in the mid room there. So he brought down Tensky. MSL, though, will win the battle with the Cillian and drop, so into a 4-on-4.
Yeah, this could be a huge pin to play towards that B bomb site right now if they play their cards right. This moment going down, flashbang going over in case there's anyone that close angle. That is going to be Magic's Boy. We'll get blinded, forced to turn around, but it won't last that long. The second flash comes in, that one's an awful lot better. MSL finally able to capitalise off the back of it, but here comes Modi. He's been a powerhouse so far on the defense. Can he keep it up? It's the first frag, already 2 in the bag. Can he try and turn this into a hat trick. He waits for the peak to come out from the CTs. No one going to greet him. The bomb starts to go down. All of a sudden, Kirby just decided to outright go for him. But he's going crazy before he eventually gets taken down by Rubino, punished for his over-aggressive play. And it's just down to a 1 versus 2.
That timing there for Madi just worked out almost perfectly. They were trying to isolate him out with those Molotovs. He had nowhere to stand. He pushes forward right as they fell back and gave up the angle. He's able to stop the plant. And now here we are with Rubino. I believe it is 1 versus 2 here, yeah?
Yeah. It's only going to take one man to finish him. That'll be Freeze, of course, as well. He's opened up so many rounds, and now he's going to finally shut one down as well.
And that was the 4K for Madi. That was absolutely massive. That puts him at 9 and 6, and Freeze as well, just dominant 7 and 3. It's exactly what you want to see. Well, I guess everyone, like they said on the desk, we kind of want to see Pimp pick up the op and go find MSL, because that would be quite funny. But, you know, let your primary op do it, and Freeze is doing it, so.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome to see that return to form as well with Freeze. Really quite a flashy up on one of the old guards, so absolutely glorious stuff there on the board. Let's see if he can keep it up. He's had quite a few openers so far. So much into this one, it was nearly going to be Pimp. He took down Lavino so very low, but here he is finally coming into the action. Couldn't quite land the follow-up frag, but the flashbangs go over to buy him a little bit more time. And on the back of the site as well, Modi, he's been such a nuisance to the side of Dignitas. It's looking like he could still keep that up.
MSL grabs the double, then Madi answers right back with one of his own. So that's going to keep it a 2-on-2. Freeze to pop a flash really, really high. They're actually pushing the smoke on it right now. Freeze going to shut it down.
Amazing stuff there. He's been so on point with the AWP, and this is just great to see.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised. I thought that his first peek out the connector doors was going to be a 2-for-1. He just got the one headshot, went out for another quick peek, saw 2, missed his shot, and then made the smart play to kind of back off, wait for his teammate. So it's nice. He's playing with composure. Like, even though he has been doing hitting his shots very well, he's not playing super overconfident or too over-aggressive. Because had he went down there, going for maybe another repeak, could have changed the round.
That could have been the worst misplay, yeah.
Yeah, 6 in a row now for SK Gaming.
If he would have got 2 headstrong off the back of that, as you're saying, he was getting those flashy picks. So really smart stuff on the board. Rubino, though, wants to just go with the all-out steam train as he floods his way in, but Magic's boy was locked and loaded. Just takes him down through the box. Even 4 lowly team members of Team Dignitas trapped, just quiet. Not too sure what play they actually want to go for right now. Seems like it will be that B-bomb site take a little bit later on. MSL still trying to regain drop down control. Has the backup of his teammate. They've done it in the past, but this time with a much weaker Arsenal. And the Molotov goes in to try and force them to be divided. Does a great job. This config, only 40 HP left. MSL on 50. They're not looking too healthy at all as they begin to waddle their way in towards that bomb site. And they're just hitting the ground one by one. Magic's boy and Modi going huge. He'll come in with a follow-up frag as well.
Yeah, Magic's boy just moving in close and personal. He's got that angle that you know, makes it so the terrorists can't wrap around the site and get onto Freeze, so it keeps Freeze alive. He was very, very low. He was probably scared. But no rebuys coming out. Look at the money that's starting to build up. $14,500 there. Freeze, 14K on Madi as well. Almost 10 on Pimp. Like, there's so much here. It's a long road back for Dignitas, who have just been continually losing. So they're on like a full buy, half buy rotation right now. Yeah. So they're always going to be dangerous. It won't be easy for SK to, like, the rounds could be close, but there's enough money that it won't matter for SK.
It's fantastic for them as well, especially on that CT side where, you know, it is quite volatile, and they've been able to set that down and get them a bit of a buffer very early on into the game.
The real struggle is if Dignitas, when they finally do get one of these rounds, they're going to have to get like 3 in a row to put a true dent in that SK economy, especially if SK on a round loss saves some of their guns.
Yeah, it would be a complete horror story for them. Well, actually, that nade as well. Transferred a fair bit of damage over to Kirby, actually. 50 HP left on MSL, took a little bit of a dent. They are all grouped up fairly close by if they want to go for this aggressive play, but I like this from Pimp. Not going too overly confident. We'll just still be holding his angle, playing off the back of the smoke for the meantime. A minute left on the clock right now.
We're on board with Rubino again. He's got that Molotov at drop, keeping him at bay. He's actually not been doing so hot since the first 3 rounds that we saw him there. Freeze has been really, really good from this position. And SK Gaming actually seemed really timid when they played Cobble the last time, like scared to take that plat control, but now you've just got Freeze stepping up every single time.
Yeah, good stuff as well from Modi. That mid-defense, absolutely phenomenal. Pimp's going to come in with that frag. Magic's boy finally gets one, but Freeze will eventually get traded out, and it's all on Kirby now. He has to go huge. You'd need to actually get a 4K into the round to pick it up, and I felt that is too much of a task to ask for. Limited utility, just the Molotov and smoke. Could still use that to try and zone people out, but with not a lot of time, he has to try and think fast.
Well, we found some more utility on the ground. I'll throw a flash over. None of these flashes in A were effective. That flash over the wall into B wasn't effective just because both players are hiding out. So he'll drop the smoke. He'll try to plant the bomb. But I think, yeah, Magic's boy, knowing where that plant was going down, had no trouble finding that shot through the smoke.
Yeah, very easy stuff from there to be able to get that frag on the board and Couldn't quite get the bomb plant down. It isn't going to matter as obviously the lose bonus. They'll be able to get the buy going into it, but they finally realised it is time to take a timeout and work out what's gone wrong, what's been the catalyst. Why can't we get these rounds together, guys?
Well, Dignitas seemed to struggle. I think Tempo were playing so well in the previous series where Dignitas were facing them, but it's, I don't know, we'll see, right? Power of the pause. This is it, going into round 12, and they've got a decent buy. Rubino will go for more utility with that CZ.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to bring this back and have quite a definitive performance over on that Dignitas side, or if it's too little too late. And SK will keep up this absolute powerhouse play they've been dropping all over the place.
We actually have Pimp in this situation again where he's out at long A by himself, so he could get wrapped on. Remember, he did get knifed. We'll bring that up again because it was pretty hilarious. But here he is. He knows he's been there for too long. He'll take a quick look down danger, and I imagine he falls off pretty quick.
That's great as well. Actually switching out to the AWP right now with a double up setup over on that CT side. Let's catch them off. Use that flash to try and zone anyone out at mid to give him a little bit more time to back off on towards the site. He's paranoid about that potential push coming out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty tense moment on that fallback. Like, he was very close to maybe just getting peeked on and killed while he was retreating, but instead he does get away, and he is still, like, the strat seems to be working for Dignitas almost by sheer luck, right? It just happens to be that they put one person on A this round, and Team Dignitas are gearing up to just delay explode. So this might come down to a retake. Or Pimp just hitting some crazy shots right now.
Yeah, there's always that potential. I mean, right now, he really is the key. He has to try and lock that site down early. Guy, his teammates, just a minimum of enough time to rotate over. And then this is the thing. They're so used to Rubino taking that drop down and purely only that drop down roll. Now he's towards off. He could actually spice it up enough and catch them off guard.
He throws a Molotov, but the smoke's down, so it's still a free retreat there for MagicBoy, who took a little bit of damage. But that'll keep him interested in that B side a little bit longer, at least until the bomb is spotted, and here comes this execution.
So close there for Pimp, unfortunately. Didn't quite land it. Here's Moddy. He's been so key in the past, he's still living up to that.
What?
Pimp pops out though and lands that headshot on towards Config. That is ridiculous. Kirby and Tensky, the only men left standing there, trying to scurry on towards that bomb site. Tensky in the elevated position. They have nowhere near enough time right now. He's got to commit. Can't quite get the bomb planted in enough time, and he's just going to get pushed and taken down.
Was not looking good for Pimp. He misses his first shot. He literally went to shoot. He missed the wall. He went to shoot at the wall, and he missed the wall. So it was looking bad. But then he just hits this. He's jiggling. This person's interested, and then he just boom. That was the craziest quick scope I think I've seen in a long time. So, and then Rubino also lost his battle again, right? Like, that's the one guy that you really want him to kind of win to sell it. But he got wrecked, I think, by Madi, and then Madi's able to rotate very quickly.
I think it was open as well at the time, and they did actually rotate off further at that point, and Moddy was still there. Moddy's really cute, switched on right now about where his actual positioning is, and it's been great reads so far from SK. Let's see if they can keep it up though, as this B-bomb site once again under attack, and they're doing the same stuff. An easy defense. Freeze with 2 kills. This boy comes in with 1 as well. Moddy's going to climb the head of Kirby, and Tensky's the final man to go down, bested by Isilian. And this is just ridiculous. A whole new form coming out for SK right now.
Dignitas have not been able to stop that duo of Freeze on the site and MagicBoy on the rectangle, and then I guess combine that with Madi holding down drop room very, very well. Like, they cannot get past that. Whatever they're doing is not working. We might need to see like the whole wall of smokes. That way you can isolate the rectangle player. He has to either play behind the wall or push through it. Like, I think they need to do a bit more with the nades to bait MagicBoy out.
That's the thing, we saw that a little bit earlier on, but it seems because they were getting bested even when they were trying that, now they've sort of worked away from it and trying to throw all these different spanners into the works, and they can't even quite work out what they're doing themselves.
Yeah, well, that last round was a low buy, so they were just trying to go quick and fast. So that doesn't work, but they really have a full round here, all AKs, which is pretty standard for Dignitas, right? They don't op that much anyways, especially on the T side. With all the nades, what can they do? They've expended some utility already just to take this map control over here at long A. And the other 3, I believe it is, are just waiting out for drop. So this looks like it's setting up to be an A split.
Yeah, definitely so, as they find their way down, drop down, but it's been such a hard task in the past. Will they be able to change it? Actually make that play different enough this time. Moddy's there to back up Isilian if they do try and just barrage their way and just flood down. Just lying in wait right now, sitting towards Skylight, wait for the push to come down. There's going to be the smokes. Molotov going into burning one, playing anti-flash, but Cillian just playing on the close angle, peeks out, nice stuff there. The flashbang goes in as well, and Config was still just over the edge, and his head's going to get claimed. MSL wants to try and avenge his fallen brethren, but it's really not going to work out in his favour. That nade missing completely as well, but he finally goes in. Somehow nothing goes in the favour of Dignitas. They're all just getting round one by one, and it's just left on Tensky, on his lonesome towards the A bomb site, trapped by side, with 30 seconds left to play with, miles away from the bomb. Pimp should just have an easy frag onto him.
I mean, Dignitas are just getting dropped and dropped. It's like There's nothing else to say. There was some unfortunate things there, like they threw in a flash and the wooden column happened to block it perfectly, so no one was blind. That was kind of chancy, but other than that, it was a great setup there. Like you had Asilian peeking that angle, he spots them, and then the pop flash comes off the wall, he re-peeks, he gets one, and then they both each grab a kill. And it was the main offensive was there in drop. 3 players that come down drop and go to A, and then 1 other in the bomb to come up long A. And actually everyone lost over at long A and at drop. So what can you do? You're going to lose the round, and they did.
And that round was just sort of showing the point we were making earlier, where it seems like communication right now and just even small misplays that have been coming out so much with Dignitas, just the odd smoke here and there, the odd flash, where it's just not quite working out. All these issues where it just seems like it's gone out the window all of a sudden, just for some unknown reason.
I thought if one team was going to get smashed here today, it was likely going to be SK. But here they are. I think proving a lot of people wrong. I mean, everyone said 2-0, except maybe Puckett. You know, he's on to something. Maybe he's the next big analyst.
You never know. The shoe's on the other foot now. With SK just leading so very easily. MSL, he's actually found a little bit more success than Ravino towards that drop-down area, but he doesn't want to try and fight through the fire and flames. Will back off, makes the smart play, and it's looking like his teammates actually will scurry their way over and try and reposition for what could be a late-round B-take here.
Looks like MSL not wanting to use the op, so they'll pass it over to Rubino. He uses it occasionally. I mean, I think he's pretty good. I'm a big Rubino fan, so I'll pretty much say he's good with anything. But here's Asilian. I feel like we have not said his name a lot. Just hasn't been needed, but here he is. Finds one and does considerable damage to another.
Yeah, that's great as well. It's got all the information for his side. It seems like they are a little bit paranoid about the positioning of Magic Spore. He will eventually go for that peak. But it's not even going to matter as everyone's just storming their way around. They're terrified of the B-bombs up. They don't want to be there. They're going to try and rotate round towards A, but I feel like there's even more damage lying in wait for them when they arrive. Audi and Pimp, the team men that have just gone huge so far.
Yeah, I think Pimp really learned his lesson yesterday at A. Like, he's been phenomenal. And there's Madi with a quick triple at the end. Like, it's just routine at this point. There's like no reaction. Been desensitized to the carnage that SK has put forth.
The Modi pain. He's bringing it back.
So 12-3 on the half. A little bit of double opping. Pimp, I think, pulled out one of the more ridiculous shots of the tournament right there. So, like, that is... So that could have been 15-0. Like, honestly, it's the pistol and the 2 anti-eco rounds. That's all that Dignitas got. That is really, really worrisome.
And even then, the pistol round looked like it was going to be potentially shaky in the early round. It was just, as soon as they got onto their site, they went mental. But it could have been such a different scoreline, and it's crazy. There wasn't really that many close rounds as well. There's only 1 or 2 that I can actually remember. And
Config's 2-13, so that stands out as, like, that's a problem, obviously. And I said Pimp played really well. Someone might look at the score and say, oh, he's 7-6. But he was just so great at A, always staying alive, and that was almost more important. Launder stated earlier in a cast, like, people really underrate how important just staying alive is on that CT side.
It's very true indeed, obviously. A lot of those impact frags tied to him when he just came in towards that drop-down control, so it's not overly important about the stats. Right now, MSL playing on this close angle, he's trying to get overwhelmed, everyone just flooding in, does panic a little bit, couldn't quite recover towards the end there. Modi still living up from the hype of the previous half, but here's Tensky, 1 HP, but he's still fighting through. Eventually he's going to get taken down. Magic Spore gliding through the air like an acrobat, but there's Kirby with an absolutely spectacular little USB headshot. Modi and Magic Spore, the 2 Embers on the side of SK, just destroying everyone in front of him. Eventually Rubino's going to go down though, and they do find their way through, picking up such a vital pistol round.
And you're going to see SK kind of exploiting the, I would say exploiting the mechanics of the game a little bit. Like, just jump peek every corner when you're against USPs, because everyone's aiming head level, and it's really, really hard. Like, the body's contorting in the air, they're spinning, who knows. It's so hard to hit that one shot. And then you can actually, while you're in the air, you're covering that ground, you get in close and personal with the Glock, and that's where it's the best. And they just won out on all the trades overall.
Yeah, you can see that coming into effect. Obviously, the recovery time for MSL there, he just couldn't adjust quick enough. It's ridiculously heavy SMG by there, only 1 actual rifle, and that's going to be over on Freeze. Awful lot of utility as well, as they just storm their way up, going as an absolute pack here towards a bomb site. There is a man playing off the back of the close angle, that's going to be MSL, CZ in hand, so it could come into play. And it's actually going to be the Deagle over on Kirby to shut down Freeze. That's an AK potentially could be recovered, but Pimp's going to scavenge it for himself.
That must have been one hell of a shot if that's where he was standing when he got it. To find that first kill. It was one of the SMGs down. Pimp was the only man with the rifle in this round, I'm pretty sure. There were 4 SMGs.
Yeah, one of those obviously was on Pimp, and then he traded out from the fallen weapon of Freeze.
That could be big. We see Tensky sliding into the back of the day site. There are a ton of Molotovs here, so I think SK Gaming, the way they're playing, will probably end up throwing something there, checking it, if they end up going A at all.
Terrifying right now, this close angles. They'll use that Molotov to try and force anyone out of position, but it's not really going to work. Oh, so close to actually getting that frag. This is great right now. Dignitas being able to find these picks here and there, and it just comes down to Magic Boy and Asilian. There's still actually a chance for Dignitas in this one. They have to play their cards right off these close angles. Not much health to play over on Rubino. They're terrified and not sure when they actually want to go for the peaks. He will be able to get into a little bit of a better position. Going to be Config. Will he finally return to form? But Rubino with a nice shot on towards Asilian there. It's just Magic's Boy now. Slowly creeping up towards the site. He will get past Wood, but with 20 seconds left to play with. Does have the bomb on him. That's going to be such a vital factor. Panicking though. Terrified that someone will actually go from the peak. From connected doors as he slowly tiptoes his way up. Spots there. The Config takes him down. 10 seconds has to go for the commit now. Tries to paint him out with a plant, and he will actually fall for it. Glides through the air and hits the ground hard.
Yeah, that's what happens. When you go for a fake plant and the clock's in the red, the other player's like, all right, he's sticking it. I've got to go for this. He was even at a point where he could have faked, waited like 1 more second, and then still got the plant. As long as the clock says 4 seconds, you can plant because it takes like 3.5. But that was perfect, right? Hits the first shot, spots him on the back of truck, baits out that jump, and kills the guy in the air. When you're in the air in this game, most of the time, unless your name's called Zera, you are defenseless. So yeah, that was a free battle for him.
Yeah, really good stuff there as well, going down to the wide. The individual skill of SK actually showing through at that point. Another buy coming out. Team Dignitas obviously just having to try and work with what they can. Their Arsenal's so weak. Can they potentially make it work? Actually go for the counter boost play. Rubino with the one to be elevated up. Asilian actually spots out MSL as well, and he's going to get a little bit aggressive there. Wanted to try and bring the fight to him.
And so overall, that last round was pretty good for Dignitas, but they still have to have in the back of their mind that they were just 2 rounds from losing this game. And Kirby can't even come away with that first kill. It's Magic's Boy with the AK. This gets the one-shot headshot.
Yeah, great stuff there. He take a fair bit of damage as well, down to 54 HP right now. Freeze, Mac 10 in hand. Rattling off those shots, wanted to try and find that frag. Not really going to go in his favour overly, but nice use of the flashbang. Can actually just fight through, but Pim gets taken down. Nearly a follow-up frag coming in as well. That CZ on the close angle. Great stuff, but it's going to be Magic's Boy to just return to form immediately. The 2K comes out and he's hungry for so much more, and he'll claim it. That's a hat-trick already. Tensky, the last man left standing, actually could be on for the ace here potentially. And he will claim
That's
it.
the ace.
That is absolutely insane. Magic's Boy there. I said I wanted to go, see him go back to that older style. He's just going to walk in, take B bomb. So that was his domain. Obviously, the first frag of the round there as they went to go for the counter boost play.
Well, I'm impressed. We're about to get to see this whole thing from Magic's Boy's perspective. Look at that spray transfer now up on the platform, long range, another great spray control. Only 4 bullets left. You saw that, and we know what happened. He got the bush rectangle, got the kill. Maybe he reloaded. I'm just gonna hope he didn't. Making it work with those 4 bullets, and that was insane. That's an ace to get out to match point, and it's, well, the buy is really not much better. You got 2 UMPs. They had actually 1 in the last round, so it's just force, 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 and that's what happens when you get absolutely wrecked in the first half.
I mean, Dignitas right now, they've got to be quaking in their boots. This is such a ridiculous sort of powerhouse play coming out from SK. They've changed. They're a completely new team all of a sudden. And Freeze wants to try and get this opener for his side. Will actually get tagged down to just 13 HP, so forced to back off. The Deagle Tensky could have come into the play a little bit there, but not going to work out in his favour. Modi lying dazed and confused, forced to try and back off down to 1 HP. I mean, how many times have we seen someone on 1 HP in this game?
Well, to be fair, it's evident Tensky who's on Dignitas, but you know, when the game's going your way, it's just going your way. The fact that he lives on 1 HP is, I mean, that's luck. Ooh, sometimes the nades when they break glass in this game are just insanely loud.
Sure, indeed. Ear bleeding.
Yeah. So 4 on 3 right now. I mean, Freeze and Madi are 14 HP combined, so they're pretty low, and MSL is pushing down. Actually might, with, timing, strike them. No, Pimp will move back. He's checking it. He's curious.
He does have the angle covered.
That actually missed, I think, completely.
Yeah. He instantly slipped back there, and it's unfortunate for him with the Deagle recall knocking out. But this could be so big. Config coming in from behind. Had everything in his hands, all the natural tools to actually go just insane there and be a mass murderer, but it's not worked out. It's MSL in a 1v4.
It's crazy. We've seen SK, like, when they pushed off the B-plat in the last round, it seemed like they were going to get caught in that CZ crossfire and just destroyed. But then Madi steps up and gets the ace. And right there, it looked like, oh, they might get triple sprayed down because no one's paying attention, but still they somehow win it. And now Asilian's hitting this shot. They're hitting everything. It's 16-3. It's Dignitas on Cobble, and they just got 3 rounds.
It's like all of a sudden, all of the criticisms finally come together and they've gone, guys, we need to live up to the SK brand, and they brought the pain there on Cobblestone. That was absolutely beautiful. Everyone just rolling back the years to those older days, and it was fantastic to see. Literally, everyone was on form, constant plays coming out, just amazing stuff.